Hello and welcome. In this video, I want to talk about the new Beast Hunt DLC. And to be more precise, I will talk about two things. The first part of the video will just talk about the new stuff that is for free for the base game. And the second one is about the exclusive stuff you get when you pay for the DLC. So I tell you not the details about the storyline or specific quests. I just show you every item and every gear you can unlock with the new DLC. Because basically that's what you want. The story, I can't really tell if it's viable or not. I had fun. But if you really are interested only in the informations of the new weapons, then well, that's the video for you. Okay, but first we start with the free stuff. They added a new camp equipment, which is the hunting gear. It produces these tooths, which are required as a payment for the tracker guild. Yeah, it's nice. Also, you need or you unlock the new huntsman profession, which is also interesting. It's like beast focus, obviously. You need the huntsman profession to track down new animal types, a new mini game where you can find so-called ferocious animals. Ferocious animals are just super strong versions of the base animal. For example, this mosquito here, just uh, boosted if you like compare the stats. This one is strength 73, and this one is just plus 100, and I can even kill all the points. So you can see that these ferocious animals are really strong. Also, they have additional equipment slots. They have an inbuilt uh, death protection, and they have additional perks. Or one line of perks you can pick from. One is they're all the same. So one is more valor points, one is more guard, and one is more equipment. But for each animal, they are the same. You don't really get different ones. Okay, that's the free stuff. New profession, new animals, and the new camp equipment. Now we go to the stuff that is exclusive for the DLC. And we start with the weapons because, well, weapons are most interesting one, right? And we start actually with the shield. The shield's ability is damage from targets with Mark of the Beast is reduced by 10% for each application. Well, what does that mean? So, Mark of the Beast is basically a new mechanic for the entire DLC. Every weapon tied to this DLC that you unlock either applies Mark of the Beast or consumes Mark of the Beast or do both. So, if this entire set of weapons or gear or equipment is worth it, highly depends on the mechanic Mark of the Beast, if this mechanic is worth it. I have to test it. I'm currently only read all the effects, but I will test it in the future. Okay, so my gut says that this isn't very strong because we have the Alazarian Heater Shield, which is just insane and OP. But this one, well, it gives you damage reduction, right? But only damage reduction when you already applied Mark of the Beast. So yeah, I think the best case scenario for this shield would be applying 10 stacks of Mark of the Beast on something, and then you can't die because you have 100% damage reduction against this target. But realistically, if you can apply 10 stacks of Mark of the Beast, you can also just kill the target. So, not really. That's just my way of thinking. Um, okay, so then we have a weapon set. Basically, for each type, we have one-handed mace, axe, and sword. We have the dagger and the fists for the pugilist. We have a bow, a spear, and a crossbow. And the two-handed weapons, axe, sword, and mace. Also, we have a throwing knife. And here at the throwing knife, you can see it applies Mark of the Beast. And also another uh, effect, which is this unit cannot move, damage reduced by 30%, damage taken increased by 50%. Maybe this one is good to catch targets or animals. But overall, I don't really use throwing weapons. Um, I use offhand weapons, which passive boost your crew. But let's see. Okay, so to see the other weapons, the problem is the crafting materials actually. You need crafting materials from the boss itself, and I couldn't figure out when the boss respawns. It took a while, but he currently is not respawned. Okay, so the 100 sword would be this one. And as I said, every weapon either applies or consumes. And depending on the weapon, it does something different when it consumes the stack. So in this case, the 100 sword applies Mark of the Beast if the target does not have the mark of the beast currently. But when it already has the mark, then it consumes it and does destabilization. So basically the kick from the sportsman. So I will not read every weapon. I just hover over it, and you can pause the video at this point to read it by yourself. But as I said, every weapon basically applies the mark of the beast and or consume it for an additional buff or bonus. You can see it here. Currently, I think all of these weapons are well compared to other legendary weapons a little bit weak, but they're interesting for a roleplay scenario where you just go full beastman, right? Okay, so here we have the 200 mace, dagger. Also, what's good with these weapons is that they are legendary, so you can upgrade them in the Brotherhood. And they are basically the strongest weapons depending on the strength or dexterity gain when it comes to smithing, crafting, whatever. Because if you look at this, the Alazarian weapon caps at level 12, and this one goes up to level 15, which is quite nice. So here we have the bow. With the brawling weapon. And the crossbow. Then we have the throwing weapon. As I said. We also have an alchemy weapon. Or we have in the alchemy slot also throwing bottle, which who have thought also the effect of applying Mark of Beast. Additional, we get 2 belt accessories or belt equipments, which should help you in the new region. But well, for the base game, they are pretty useless, I think, because both of them are built around the terror mechanic from the ghost pack, and you don't really fight the ghost pack very often. Okay, so that's the belt accessories, the weapons. Now there are also some new equipments for animals. We have 4 to be exact. We have the Harald collar. Well, this is this one. The beast. It's just damage reduction by units with Mark of the Beast. This one gives damage increase against targets with Mark of the Beast. And then this one, which is probably the best one when you farm the boss, because the Under the Influence debuff on your animals is quite annoying. Can tell you that. Yeah. But overall, yeah, I think other equipments, for example, the one is my favorite, the bacon one, that you can control the animal. You don't need this one if you have a beast hunter, but that's another story. Okay, so the new DLC comes also with a tomb. The tomb comes obviously with a weapon and the codex. So the weapon is actually quite interesting. It's this one. This is the weapon from the tomb. You deal area damage, but the damage is increased for each animal in the troop. And I really, I'm, I'm, I'm really hoping that this one is fun, because I want to just check if this one scales with the ponies or if it's not. Because I've currently like 20 ponies or something. That would be a lot of percentage. Or if it's just counting fight animals or animals that are able to fight. Then this is still funny. Imagine like an army of rats, like you have 100 rats or something. Then you can deal a lot of damage with your sword. I think it's a fun weapon. I will test this out in the future, obviously. And if you complete the tomb and you completed the codex, you find the hidden door here in the Grimner province. And actually it's bugged, I think, because the codex, when you decipher it, gives you the combination of the lock for the door. But this one is wrong, actually. I tried it, but this one does not work. So I opened the door with 3 times this symbol. I'm not sure if this bugged or if it's like a feature. But if your combination does not work, just try 3 times this one. Okay, now to the map boss and quest rewards. So each quest progress in the new campaign will give you or will reward you with a specific helm. Light helmet, a medium helmet, and a heavy helmet. And you can see here their effects. So all of them are obviously animal themed. So the heavy one, uh, well, gets supported for adjacent animals. The medium one, each time an allied animal lands a critical hit, this unit gains fury, which is nice. And each time an allied enemy ends its turn adjacent to this unit, the animal gains orderly, which gives twice as much Valor points, which is also nice. Since you get new beasts that also can generate Valor points, which is fun. The map boss on the new part drops a two-handed mace. It's this one. It's a slow mace, so you target an area and then the next turn you swing. But if you hit enemies, you apply Mark of the Beast. Well, it's just another enabler. As I said, every weapon of this DLC will do something with Mark of the Beast. But more importantly, that animals adjacent to the unit gain second chance, which is interesting. It allows some strategic options, but I think all these slow mazes aren't good enough to be run. But it has to be tested. I think I will test it with a new completely playthrough Beastmaster style. I think it's fun. It's fun. Yep. But these are all the weapons, all the gear you can find, and I see you in the next one. Bye.